So this weekend we're going to Pennsylvania for the NCAA championships. The way that teams qualify is by getting top 3 at the regional meet. And since our team won regionals, we're automatically going, so that's really exciting. All top 7 were all region, which is top 25 individuals at regionals. So I think we were one of the only teams in the country to have all of our top 7 actually be all region. I think only 4 teams actually accomplished that, so that was really confidence boosting going into nationals now. It was a really close race at regionals with Roberts Wesleyan because we only beat them by 5 points. So obviously they're going to still be like a good competition for us at nationals, but since like the playing field is so much larger there, then like the pressure of trying to beat them isn't going to be as stressful because there's going to be so many people around us that we won't even know like if a Roberts Wesleyan girl is right next to us or not. But obviously it's still in the back of our head to try to beat them again and still maintain like number 1 in the region and number 1 in the NE10. Nationals is definitely intense, but it's just so fun because like we all get to take a break from school and go on a plane, and I don't know, it's just like a good experience, especially for the younger athletes because this is like their first really big meet. It's intense in the fact that like we're going against really good people in the country, but I feel like it's also less stressful because the pressure to win isn't as high. Well, we have a few people that have never attended an NCAA championship, but we also have some veterans like me, Ken's, Alyssa, Sam, and so I feel like we're going to be a good guide for the younger ones that haven't been. There isn't too much to expect, I feel like, just because the competition is so high there. I think all of us just want to compete to the best of our ability and to compete the best that we've done this season. We recently beat Roberts Wesleyan only by 5 points, so I guess to try to beat them again would be one of our goals. But against the rest of the country, we've never raced like most of them there, so I guess it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We weren't ranked 25th or like the top 25 in the country, so I think that might also be one of our goals. The strategy is like definitely to do our best, but for this race specifically, since we don't really know the course that well, if the course is one that kind of bottlenecks at the beginning, I guess a good strategy would be to get out hard because nationals always goes out hard. So, but there's like always the dilemma of going out too hard and dying or being able to go out strong and then maintain that. So I guess that's something we have to figure out while we're there, but always going out hard is something that you have to do when you're in that kind of a situation. We've been doing a couple workouts a week, and we've definitely dropped our mileage since we're tapering now. Today we just have like a regular run, which will be like 5 to 6 miles. Coach usually likes to keep the intensity high, but drop the volume as we taper, so we don't change like how much effort we put into each run, but we do change like the amount that we run.
Everything starts back in June. Everyone went to summer training knowing what we wanted to accomplish end game now. Last year was such an amazing experience being able to accomplish so much, and we all wanted to try and recreate that. Obviously, two things don't happen the same way, so we kind of took a different path, but I feel like the outcome that we've achieved at this point is pretty much the same. NE10s didn't quite go our way. We placed second there. We put a few guys on the conference team. And I think we learned a lot from that, especially some of the younger guys. Last year was not really the norm with us getting first. Riley, Luke, myself, we all came accustomed to kind of having to fight to win that A10s, and I think kind of set the bar a little too high, that it was an easier thing to accomplish. And I think that through coming in second at that meet, I think the younger guys learned a lot. And that really showed come regionals, and that's why we were able to just knock one out of the park. Especially young talent Nick McNamee. He had an unbelievable race, and I don't think we really could have accomplished it without him. But even besides him, we put 6 out of our top 7 on the all-region team, and that's no easy feat. So that was really a huge thing to do, and it was such a team race, and it made it that much more fun and that much more enjoyable at the end of the day to be able to take home that trophy as a team. Time is less. Like, this is my last cross-country race ever, so kind of having that in the back of your head is kind of how this 8-year journey has played off, even not just my college career, but starting way back in high school, and having this be like the last one of my competitive cross-country career. You have a much higher appreciation for it. I definitely talking to Riley about that. I know Luke's having a 5th year, so I guess it's not his last one, but all the seniors are really feeling that, and I think that the earlier you develop that, I think it's something that we share with our younger guys, the earlier that you develop that appreciation, the more joy you're going to get out of it, and the more the hard days are going to suck a little bit less. So it really helps you kind of with training-wise, because you're more willing to put up with some of the tough days, and it makes the highs that much higher. So I think that's really what changes everything as time goes on. It's intense. I think one thing that we try to make sure everyone realizes is that it's a whole new ball game. Like, it's unlike any other meet that we race in all year. You can be running the best race of your life and you're still going to be in 60th place when before you were running the top 10. You know what I mean? Like, you're much more stuck in the middle of the pack because the talent pool is just so good. And there's some people out from the western side of the country that are so talented and all 25 that it's being in that environment is very intense, and you kind of have to be prepared for it mentally to understand what your place is going to be at nationals before you can be successful there. And I think that's something that we've been talking to them. And I know Coach has really been trying to hammer that point home quite a bit the past couple of weeks, especially with our younger guys who haven't been there before. I bet Anna said the same phrase that I'm about to say, but the phrase of the past 2 weeks have been the hay is in the barn. And what Coach Bowen really means by this is that all the heavy lifting is over. At this point in the season, practice is all about just sharpening up, so workouts are very turnover-based. Nothing really, not the long fartleks that we're going to do during our base building phase of the beginning of the season. The runs are dialed back, tapers on. Me, a senior, running 65 miles a week instead of 85 miles. So mileage is back just to get us that extra bit of energy come race day. Focus on sharpening, focusing on feeling a pace, but really coming to terms with the mentality that we've worked so hard from June up until this point that let's just not kill ourselves right now and let's just go have a great race.